For as long as I can remember, I've wanted to go camping. As a kid, I bought the Boy Scouts handbook and studied it like my life depended on it. I learned everything I could about the outdoors, starting fires, building shelter, tracking, you name it. But I never had the chance to actually go camping. My parents were immigrants from a war-torn third world country. For them, the idea of sleeping in a tent was ridiculous. They'd spent their entire lives trying to escape that kind of life. So why choose to live it even for one night? It wasn't until my 30s that I finally had the freedom to do it. I slowly collected gear, started with day hikes, then moved on to overnight trips. It became a regular part of my life. Something magical, honestly. Escaping into the wilderness felt like therapy. But that magic ended completely and instantly on one night. Because of work, I could only do one-night trips. I'd pack everything the night before, leave directly from work, and drive straight into the mountains. There was one spot I kept going back to, a primitive drive-up camp near a lake. No cell service, no other people. It felt like my place. That night, like usual, I arrived around midnight. I set up my cot near the fire. I don't like tents, and started prepping my food under the beam of my headlamp. It was quiet, peaceful. And then, out of nowhere, a flashlight pointed straight at me. I froze. A person emerged from the trees. He looked like he had just walked out of a nightmare. No shoes, shorts, t-shirt, an unzipped backpack hanging off one shoulder. He was maybe 18 or 19, with a darker complexion, and clearly high or drunk, or both. He looked completely out of place, and completely unstable. He apologized for scaring me, and started rambling about how he'd been camping nearby with two friends, a couple, and the guy pulled out a knife and started acting crazy. He claimed he ditched them and walked here to my site. But the weirdest part is what he said next. "Bro, if you ever needed to hide a body, I know exactly where to do it out here." He said it casually, almost like a joke, but there was something about the way he said it that made my blood run cold. I tried to stay calm, nodding and responding lightly while my eyes constantly scanned his movements. His backpack looked empty. His clothes were tight. No signs of a weapon. I had an axe and two knives within arm's reach. If he tried something, I was ready. But I knew I couldn't let him stay. So after a few minutes, I told him straight up, "Hey man, I need you to leave. I'm out here for peace and privacy." He nodded, smiled, and said something like, "Most people wouldn't be that honest. Respect." Then he turned and walked back into the darkness. I didn't move for a long time. I just stood there, staring into the woods, listening. And then I heard screaming. A man and a woman arguing, loud, angry shouting, somewhere out there in the dark. Then I heard a car engine start. Tires on gravel. One final, chilling scream from the woman. And then silence. Part of me wanted to believe that he was telling the truth, that there really was a crazy couple out there. But another part of me felt like I was being lured into something. Either way, I wasn't going to risk it. I packed everything into my car in under 5 minutes and drove until I found a town. I parked near a gas station and slept in my car. I didn't go camping again for a year. And when I finally did, I ended up packing and leaving before the night even started. Just the idea that someone could walk into my camp while I was asleep haunted me. Now, I only go to state-run campsites, the kind full of kids and parents and RVs. It's not the same, but I feel safe. I'm not someone who scares easily. But what happened that night? It broke something in me. That deep sense of safety in the wilderness, it's gone. Maybe forever. And honestly, ever since that night, I've seriously considered carrying a firearm on future trips. My name is Detective Graves, and I've seen a lot in my career, but nothing ever quite like what happened on the shores of Lake Bodom. It was June 5th, 1960, a quiet, cold morning in Espoo, Finland. 4 teenagers had set up camp by the lake. Sepp Boisman, Niels Gustafsson, and 2 girls, Mila Björklund and Anja Maki. They were just kids, out for a simple night under the stars. But only one of them would make it out alive. Between 4 and 6 a.m., something or someone attacked them. The killer slashed through the tent from the outside, stabbing and beating them with brutal force. 3 of the teens died: Mila, Anja, and Seppo. Mila's body was found half outside the tent. She'd been stabbed multiple times, even after death. Her clothes were torn below the waist. The only survivor was Niels Gustafsson. He had a fractured jaw, a concussion, and deep cuts. He claimed he had no memory of the attack. When I arrived at the scene, the tent had collapsed inward, soaked in blood. A child had been murdered here, violently. But it got worse. The site was flooded with people. Journalists, locals, even soldiers. No one protected the crime scene. Footprints were trampled. Potential evidence destroyed. It was chaos. Several personal items were missing. The teens' wallets, Niels' shoes. Later, we found some hidden 500 meters away in the forest. But not everything. There were no murder weapons, no clear motive, just silence. A few witnesses reported seeing a tall, blonde man walking away from the area around 6 a.m., wearing a light-colored shirt, but he was never identified. Years passed, leads went cold, until 2004, when, out of nowhere, the survivor, Niels Gustafsson, was arrested. They said he killed the others in a jealous rage, that he injured himself afterward to fake being a victim. But how? He had a broken jaw, multiple head injuries. Would someone really do all that just to cover a murder? The case went to trial in 2005. No murder weapon, no witnesses, no motive that held up in court. Niels was found not guilty. He was awarded 44,900 euros in damages. And just like that, we were back at square one. Some believed the killer was a local kiosk owner, Carl Valdemar Gilstrom, known for hating campers. He allegedly confessed while drunk, then drowned himself in 1969, but no one ever confirmed his involvement. Others suspected Hans Assmann, a German ex-soldier who checked into a hospital the very next day, with blood-stained clothes and suspicious injuries. The police didn't follow up. Another name, Pentti Soininen, a known criminal, claimed responsibility from prison, but he was only 14 at the time. The truth is, we never found the killer. We never found the weapon, and we never found peace. That lake still holds its secrets. In the forest, it hasn't spoken a word since. 3 kids were murdered. 1 survived, haunted forever. And me? I'm just a man who keeps asking the same question. Who was behind the canvas when the world was still asleep? I'm 27 now, but this happened when I was 25. I had a habit of going on solo camping trips, quiet weekends alone in the woods of northern Washington. No campgrounds, no marked trails, just me, the trees, and the silence. That weekend, I hiked about a mile off-road to a small clearing next to a river, the kind of place you only find if you know where to look. Everything felt peaceful. I set up my tent, ate something simple, watched the stars. Then, around 10, I went to sleep. At 2:43 a.m., I woke up. There was no sound, no movement, except for breathing. Low, slow, human. Right outside my tent. Not walking, not stumbling, just breathing. Heavy, deep, like someone was crouching, listening. I didn't move. I didn't even blink. That breathing stayed there for almost a full minute. Then, it stopped. Just like that. I waited till morning before stepping out. No footprints, no signs, nothing had been disturbed. I packed up and left that place, and I've never camped alone since.